Well, how are you doing, seventh graders? Welcome to Mr. Han's Math Fun House. Hey, today we're going to review, what is it, Pretest 4A for your test that's coming up here. Remember, my suggestion is, grab yourself a piece of paper, jot yourself down some notes for the test. You can use notes, but you cannot use your pre-test or the answers that you had for today for the pretest. It has to be a separate piece of paper. So you're probably going to want to do that. I think it'll help you greatly. We're going to look at each and every problem. So if you have a question on any of them, hopefully I address that. If that doesn't solve your problems after we take care of it here, then go ahead, feel free to ask me. So here we go. Let's go. Problem number one. Excuse me. Jewel brought home 4 gallons of milk. How many quarts is 4 gallons? It would probably be good for you maybe to jot down somewhere in your notes that, 2 cups equal a pint. Wow, that's awful big. Let's see if I can find something a little smaller here for us to work with. There we go. What do we got? 2 pints equal 1 quart. And 4 quarts, ladies and gentlemen, equals 1 gallon. So here's how I do it. Basically, she brought home 4 gallons. I always like to sketch out some pictures here. So here's 1 gallon, 2 gallons, 3 gallons, and 4 gallons, and each gallon has 4 quarts. So you have 4 quarts in each of these gallons. 4 gallons that each have 4 quarts. 4 times 4, there would be 16 quarts. 16 quarts for number 1. Problem number 2. 1 pack of trading cards. 1 pack of trading cards sells for $1.50. How many complete packs can Jordan buy for $10? All right, now important, it says complete pack, so you're not going to have remainders. If you have $10 and each pack, you want to know how many $1.50 you can take out of $10. So simply just put it's a decimal divided by a decimal. We talked about this. You should have your little handy dandy decimal chart with you. If you don't remember how to do all this, remember, can't have a decimal here, so you have to move it 2 places here, which means you move it 2 places here and it ends up right here, and then you bring it straight up. How many times does 150? Well, it doesn't go into 100, so how many times will it go into 1,000? That's kind of a tough question, so let's just try some numbers here. What if I tried 5? 150 times 5 is 750. I'm going to guess I can get one more out of that. Let's try 6. 150 times 6. I get 0, 33, 900. If I subtract 900 from 1,000, I'm left with 100, which is less than that. So yes, I cannot buy a 7th pack. So there is simply just 6 packs that you can buy out of $10. Shawna ran 3 miles in 24 minutes. What was her average rate in minutes per mile? How many minutes per mile? Now here's the important thing with this, boys and girls. Remember we said the word per is a fraction line. So what they want is minutes per mile. So you just need to put this in the appropriate places. 24 was the minutes, so it goes on top. 3 is the miles, it goes on bottom. And then simply you just need to reduce or divide it into 3 goes into 24. She goes 8. Top number was the minutes. 8 minutes per mile. Just a matter of making that fraction and setting it up the way they tell you. And everybody is pretty much happy with that. Might as well change a couple colors here. If Robert reads 2 pages per minute, how many pages could he read in 1.5 hours? And the issue with this is, again, they give you 2 pages per 1 minute. If you can just, for every minute he reads 2 pages, you just need to change 1.5 hours into minutes, and then you'll be able to multiply by 2. So if there are 60 minutes in an hour, which you should know, and you have 1.5 of them, 60 times 1.5 is, sorry, not 900 because we have a decimal here, but 90 minutes. So if you're going 2 pages for every 1 minute, then if you do 2 pages times 90 minutes, 2 times 90, you're going to read 180 total pages. 100 total pages. Listing the prime numbers between 10 and 20. Now notice it said between 10 and 20, so it's not including 10 and 20. So your numbers are 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Those are your choices. Prime numbers, if you remember right, are the numbers that can only be divided by 1 and themselves. They have no other factors. With that, then 11 cannot be divided by anything. Any even number can be divided by 2. So right away we cross off all the even numbers. Then we just have to look at the rest of these numbers. Is there something times something that'll give you 13? No. 15 is 3 times 5, so that's out. 17, no. No other numbers can give you that. 19, no. So those are your 4 prime numbers. 11, 13, 17, and 19. We are scooching right along here. Let's get up to problem number 6 over here. Problem number 6, what is the perimeter of the rectangle with vertices at those numbers there? Gosh, I wish I would have thought ahead and got myself a graph. Hold on a second. I might just be able to pull me up one real fast. Just so you're going to want to do this on graph paper. Let me look over here. It's been a while since I've used this, but I think I can find some here. Hold on. Let's do math. Gallery in math. Let's see if there's a chart over here somewhere. How about some graphs? Templates. Oh, look at this. We're all over this. Let's find some sort of a graph. XY axis, maybe medium. Oh boy, that's going to be something awful big here. See if I can get this smaller. Youngsters, hold on. Is this the only thing I've got to work with here? Oh, there it is. It's way underneath all that stuff. Oh, look at that. Hold on a second, kids. I'm going to get it for you here. Don't you worry. Check this out. We're going to do this. I'm going to blast myself a picture of this. And I'm going to go back to that page and paste that in there somewhere. There we go. I think we'll be able to do this. Put that up by where we were working. Sure, why not? Maybe I'll make her a little bit bigger. Scooch this off to the side. All right, let's do with what we got here. So we're graphing a rectangle with these vertices. Let's check this out. I have 3, 2. Well, 1, 2, 3, 2 is right here. I've got -2, 2, which is right here. I've got negative 2, negative 2, negative 1, negative 2, down 2. And I've got 3, 1, 2, 3, negative 2 here. So my rectangle is here. I know I can't draw straight lines with this pen, but I'll do what I can. I've got this rectangle right here. And it asks me for the perimeter. You have to be a little careful here when you look for perimeter. Don't count the tick marks, count the spaces. So this rectangle is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units long, and it is 1, 2, 3, 4 units high. So if I'm doing the perimeter, it's going to be 4 plus 4 plus 5 plus 5. 5, 5, 4, 4, which if I add those together, 10 plus 2 fours is 18 units. Now question number 7 says, what's the area of that rectangle? And you know that area equals length times width. So it is 5 times 4. The area is 20 units squared. 20 units squared. Again, it's always good for you to do it on some sort of coordinate system just because it works out better that way. Much better. Gina measured the heights of corn sprouts in her garden. She came up with all of those numbers there. You're looking for the mode. Make sure you know what all the measures of central tendency are. We have the 4 of them. They are the median, which is the middle. We have the mean, which is the same as average. We have the range, which is the difference of the small and the big. You subtract those two. And the one they asked us here was the mode. Mode is the one that happens the most. Now you're going to tell me in this case, I will tell you generally you always want to list them from order from least to greatest. So let's do that. We've got a 15. We have a 16. We have 117. Looks like we have 1, 2, 3 18s. And we have 2 19s. And the one that happens the most is the lucky winner, number 18. Had they asked you for the median, that's the one in the middle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 numbers. So you'd have to pick the 2 that are in the middle, which is 18, and take their average, which again would be 18. The range, you would subtract 15 from 19 to get your number. The mean, you'd have to add them all up and divide by 8. So make sure you know all of those. All of those. Let me see if I can get rid of this. Apparently I can't get rid of the Vimeo Studio. There we go. Give myself a little more room. Sorry about this. Problem number 9. Estimate the sum by rounding each number to the nearest whole number. Well, that should be pretty simple for you. 6.27 to the nearest whole number. Remember, this is the whole number. You look at the 2, it's less than 4, so the nearest whole number is 6. 4.91. 4 is the whole number. This is a 9, so you're going to add 1 to that, and you get 5. You are looking for the sum, which is addition. 6 plus 5 is 11. That would be estimating the sum. Problem number 10. Hector slept for 8 hours. 8 hours is what fraction of a day? Okay. You want to know the hours. 8 hours is what fraction of a day? Well, you just need to make sure that you change day into hours. 8 hours over a day is 24 hours. So it's 8/24 of a day, and that reduces down to 1/3. 8 hours is 1/3 of a day. Poof. Here we go. We are halfway home, kids. Write a fraction equivalent to 3/5 that has a denominator of 100. So here is 3/5. Remember, denominator is the bottom, top is the numerator, so you just want a fraction that looks like this. All it is how do you go from 5 to 100? Multiply by 20. 3 times 20 is 60. So this is the fraction they want. You're going to tell me it's not reduced, but that's what they asked you for. So you don't have to reduce it, because if you reduced it, you just go back to 3/5, and that would make not a lot of sense. So we got 60 over 100. Sales tax rate is 8%. Find 8% of $27.50. As we've always said, boys and girls, you've got two things. First of all, tax and tip is always multiplication. In addition to that, it tells you the word of. So please, please, please do not divide for this. This is multiplication. Secondly, you should get some sort of an idea before you do this problem what your sales tax is. If you came up with $100 in sales tax, that's a bit excessive. Remember, 8% means 8 cents, 8 out of 100. 8 cents out of every 100 cents, which means 8 cents out of every dollar. So if you're spending almost $30 and you spend 8 cents for every dollar, you know, you're somewhere in the 240 cents range, or $2.40 would be a kind of a close guess. Probably going to be smaller than that because it's less than $30. But remember, we don't deal with decimal or percents when we do operations, so we make this a decimal. It's 800s. Do not please put 8.8 because that's 8/10, and that would be 80% tax. We're looking at 0.08 as a decimal, and we're multiplying that by $27.50. You're going to end up with a lot of decimal points, but we will deal with that when it comes here. So 2750 times 0.08, 8 times 0, 8 times 5 is 40. Carry the 4. 8 times 7, 56, plus 4 is 60. Oh, look at all those nice zeros. 8 times 2 is 16, plus 6 is 22. So hopefully you understand he's not going to pay $22,000 in tax. We're going to do this. There's 2 decimal places there, another 2 decimal places there for a total of 4. We start here and work our way back 4 places. Boom, boom, boom. Your answer is $2.20 in tax, which is about what we said. I think I said 230, but that'll work. A quadrilateral has how many sides? That would be something you'd write down there. You know, 3-sided thing is a triangle. A quadrilateral is a 4-sided shape. You know, a pentagon is 5, hexagon is 6, heptagon is 7. You can check your notes and look at all those. Problem number 14 appears to ask what an irrational, which one of these is irrational. Remember, the word irrational does not make sense, and there's only a couple things that we really know that deal with that are irrational. One of them is pi, which you don't have to worry about just yet. The other one, the only other irrational numbers we have are square roots, anything square roots that don't work out. So in this case, these are all rational numbers. This is the irrational number. The square root of 2 equals 1 point something that goes on forever and ever. Now, yeah, so let's just call that a day and move on from there. There are some other stuffs I'd like to talk, but I think at this point it may confuse you, so we're not going to. Areas of triangle. You definitely want to put your formula for the area of a triangle, which is the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. Please understand, we talked about this ad nauseum. Base and height in math are the 2 lines that form the right angle. And you'll see this little square here is your right angle. So the 2 lines that form that right angle would be 8 and 6. So I want 1/2 of 8 times 6. And it's up to you however you want to do this. No matter how you slice it, you're going to get 24. You could take 1/2 of 8 and get 4, and 4 times 6 is 24. You could take 1/2 of 6 if you like first and get 3, and 3 times 8 is 24. Or you could take 8 times 6 and get 48 and take 1/2 of that and get 24. No matter how you slice and dice it, ladies and gentlemen, 24 centimeters squared is the answer to problem number 15. Again, something definitely you want to jot down in your notes. Here we go. Working on this. An angle that measures 45 degrees is what type of angle? I don't think we need to spend too much time on that. Remember, obtuse, they're greater than 90 degrees. Straight is 180 degrees. Right is 90 degrees. 16 has to be acute. Number 17, solving by inspection. Here is the deal. What we generally do is this. Remember, I told you, deal with the term that has the x last. Ask yourself what number, when you subtract 1 from it, gives you 20. Well, that would mean 21. If I take 1 away from 21, I get 20. Now then, I look at the number that had the x. 3, this was a 3 and an x. 3 times what number gives me 21? Because that's what I need this to be. And hopefully you're good enough at your multiplications that 3 times 7 is 21. And that'll get you there. Sorry about that. Number 18, writing in exponential form. Well, there are no other 3's, and it doesn't go away, so it stays a 3. Now I just know this is 1x plus another x. Well, 1x times another x times another x times another x means that I am multiplying 4 x's together. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I am multiplying 1, 2, 3 y's together. So that is y to the third. In exponential form, it's 3x to the fourth, y to the third. 2 more, ladies and gentlemen. Question number 19 and 20. Number 19, remember, in order of operations, exponents and roots all fall on the same, so it doesn't really matter what you do first. 4 squared is not 4 times 2. It is 2 4s times themselves, so that would be 16. The square root of 64 is not 64 divided by 2. It's what number times itself gives you 64. And that would be 8. 8 times 8 is 64. So square root of 64 is 8. 16 minus 8 is 8. Congratulations. And look at it. Finishing up with a pretty easy fraction problem here. If you look in your notes, Mr. Hahn always tells you, write them up and down, please, ladies and gentlemen. It just makes our life a lot better. 5, 6 minus 1/4. Change to common denominators. What number? The smallest thing that 6 and 4 go into both are 12. 4 times 3 is 12. 1 times 3 is 3. 6 times 2 is 12. 5 times 2 is 10. It's a subtraction problem. 3 from 10 is 7. And you end up with 7/12 as your fraction. Hopefully 7th grade, that helped you out just a little bit along those lines. I'm going to sign off now. Again, if you have any questions on that, please, 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 please